Hey everyone, Hassan here. You are listening to the NintendoFuse podcast. Today is April 4th, 2018, and this is episode number 147 entitled Passing the Torch. I am here today, as I mentioned, my name is Hassan, and I am joined by Steve.
Hey everybody, good to see everybody, and ready to talk about games, not necessarily what Hassan's referring to.
All right, and we got Greg here.
Hey everyone.
You may not know who he is if we're just watching it live. There's no name tag if you're lost. No, I'm just kidding. You should know Greg by now, and you should also know Barry.
Hey guys, just so you're aware, this is going to be the first ever 365 day, 24 hours all-time podcast. We are not getting off the air, so that way nobody leaves.
There we go. Yeah. If we never end it, we never have to worry about that. So we could even raise money, financial support. You know, people do those gaming marathons. We could do that sort of thing. If we raise so much money, maybe we can keep Hassan on as well. Let's set some goals.
Yeah, I don't think you even need to do anything necessarily. The talk show lady just won't let me end it, so usually that's how it works.
There you go.
If we get 5 likes, Hassan will remain on.
Well, looks like there's 1 like so far, so we're almost there.
Come on, guys. Let's do it. We can make 5. We can make 5.
But yeah, so if anybody is joining and you're not sure what everyone's referring to, so today is my last episode on the NintendoFuse podcast. As I've mentioned previously, I'm going to be stepping away from NintendoFuse. It's been an amazing experience, but I just have a lot of things going on, and just want the NintendoFuse team to be able to have their full be able to provide their full attention towards the podcast and make it grow even further as it should. So we'll talk more about that later, but basically we want to get into the games and to also discuss with us in the chat. We have since this is live, you all can comment and push your thoughts as well when we go along. So we have Mike and Blake from the NintendoFuse team as well in the chat, and DJ Burgess, so shout out to them. And we're just gonna jump right in. In case you're watching, again, we have Google Hangouts live, and then we have TalkShoe streaming the audio. So 2 different options for you to be able to follow along. So our first topic for tonight, I was thinking it's been a while since we've just talked about the games that we've been playing, on Switch and 3DS, like what's been going on. And so it's been a few months, and I think it's time to revisit that. So let's start with Steve. What have you been playing on the Nintendo Switch and the 3DS?
Yeah, it's funny. Before the podcast started, I told Hassan, I was like, I can actually fire up my Switch right here and check what I'm playing, because the main thing I've been playing is Rocket League. So I was like, surely there's something else that I've been playing, and so I had to check and make sure. So yeah, Rocket League I've been playing like crazy. They had the new update that just launched, I think, yesterday or the day before, with the quality and performance settings on the Switch now. So if you prefer to have all the extra visual stuff and everything, then you can turn on that. But if you still prefer the game running at optimum speeds, then you can keep it at the performance level and everything. And that's usually what I do. That way you can still keep it running at 60 frames per second. I don't really care if I see all the fancy stuff. I just want a smooth experience. And so, but yeah, it's been fun. They have tournaments now, which is pretty cool. And so I thought about it. I was just kind of checking out a couple of them yesterday, and we'll probably put together a NintendoFuse Rocket League tournament at some point. It's really, really simple and easy, and actually reminded me that I don't think they ever added the tournament feature to Smash Brothers on Wii U like they said they were going to. So that was just kind of unfortunate disappointment that Rocket League, keeps offering support, but come on, Nintendo, put the tournament feature. But maybe to be in the Switch version. So yeah, Rocket League, I've been playing that. I actually fired up ARMS in the Global Test Punch this last weekend and played for a couple hours. I think it was on Sunday night, and that was fun. Again, I think every time I participate in one of those Global Test Punches, I think, should I get the game? And it was on sale and everything, but then I know that it's a game that I like in short sections, but I don't know if it's enough for me to like buy the whole thing still. So I do have fun with it, but I can also put it to the side and not touch it for a long time, and I don't miss it. So, but it was fun for the couple hours that I played. Kind of rocked a lot of people, which was awesome to win over and over again. And then I've been playing Tokitori 2 Plus, which is nothing like brand new. Played it on the Wii U before, but they put out the Switch version, and so yeah, I got a code from them and played through it again, and it's just it's a cute, adorable, challenging puzzle game, and so yeah, it's fun, but nothing too crazy about it, but it is fun. So if you're into puzzle games, then I'd say, yeah, check out Tokitori. Tokitori is now out, and now Tokitori 2 Plus is out on Switch. So both of those are good, challenging games to pick up. But hopefully, maybe down the line, so we'll see if we can get a 3. But I don't know. That's me.
All right, nice. Greg, were you able to get the technical stuff worked out? Looks like you're back.
Yeah, I am back.
He's here.
All right.
Looks like my video is working too. Yay.
Sweet. So what games have you been playing then on the Switch and 3DS lately?
Well, 3DS, I was playing Radiant Historia. I did finish it. I know when me and Barry did our game chat, I think about a month ago, I still went back and get all the events, got the perfect ending, got everything unlocked, completed. So that was quite an awesome game. Finally can set the 3DS down. It might be ready for it to start collecting some dust for next several months now. So unless they announce something crazy at E3, but not putting my finger on that one. For Switch, I have been playing Bunker. It was a game that will probably be coming out in the next week or two. Me and Steve got review copies, and we'll be having a game chat about that. I actually did beat it, but more on that later. And then finally, I just started up Fire Emblem Warriors. Finally got around to loading it in, and just on the first level, still going to be working through that in the coming weeks. Looking forward to it. It's been a long time waiting for it because we didn't get a review copy, so been on hold for the longest time. So excited to finally be able to play with Fire Emblem on Switch.
Nice. All right, pretty cool. And then what about you, Barry? What have you been playing lately?
I on the 3DS, like Greg, I played Radiant Historia, which is well worth your time, and then I started Detective Pikachu. Not very far in it yet, but so far it's interesting. It's definitely not what I was expecting, but I still want to hear Danny DeVito. I really want to hear Danny DeVito. On the Switch, not as much as you guys. I wasn't playing anything for a little bit, but then I booted up Wonder Boy, The Dragon's Trap on the Switch. Played that for a little bit. I didn't beat it yet because Kirby came out. So I was playing Kirby Star Allies, which I did beat, and I'm in the post-content stuff or post-game content, running through it again without Kirby, and I'm only like halfway through that mode, and life happens, so I haven't got back to it yet. But I really want to, because I want to finish that and move on, because there's other games I want to play. But yeah, I thought Kirby was very enjoyable. But that's it. I mean, it's not as super great, but it's what I've been playing.
Okay, nice. Shout out to Javery Jefferson in the chat as well. If anybody has games they've been playing on Switch or 3DS, post them in the chat and we'll read them on the podcast as well. For me, there's been a couple different games that I was playing recently. I did play Kirby Star Allies as well. Still need to continue playing it, but it's adorable. It's fun. All the combining abilities and everything is pretty interesting. And yeah, it's Kirby, classic Kirby, basically. I was on a trip recently, and so it's always fun playing the Switch on the airplane. There was one time where I did have it like the little kickstand out, and then there's turbulence, and so the Switch started sliding, and I'm like, oh no, and I tried to grab it real quick, and then the kickstand broke off, but I managed to get it. But otherwise, beyond that, it was fine, but it was just kind of funny. I was like, oh no. But and there was somebody sitting next to me that was like, he kept looking over and staring at me as I'm playing, and I'm like, is this dude like interested in the Switch? Like, what's going on? And like towards the end of the flight, like he got up and then pulled out from the top his own Switch and started playing. So I guess he was just he was debating whether he should play it or not or something, and eventually he gave in. So I thought that was
just trying to decide. It's like, hey, 2 players, huh?
I was trying to see what he was playing, but I didn't want to be like a creep. I was kind of looking over. I saw some like anime style cutscenes or something, so I don't know like what type of game it was or whatever, but I don't know. I did manage to also 3-star all of the cups in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for 150cc. There were like a couple that I had left and I hadn't played in a long time, so when I was on the plane I just booted it back up, managed to get them. It's always when I stop playing and then I try it one more time and then it somehow magically works for me. But beyond that, I did get Lego Marvel Superheroes 2. Only played it a little bit. Got it for like $20 on Amazon. So that was a pretty good sale. And yeah, on the 3DS, I have not played much, but I did get Detective Pikachu, and my wife has been playing it, so I've kind of watched little pieces of it. The cutscenes, like, it's pretty funny. Like, some of the cutscenes are hilarious. The little comments that they have as you're looking at clues and things, like, I'm actually like legitimately laughing at some stuff. So I kind of am like trying to avoid not watching her play too much so that I can like really go through the story myself and everything. But it's actually pretty funny. It's pretty interesting. So that is what I've been playing. Looks like Javery Jefferson has been playing Mario Kart, Kirby, Star Allies, Rocket League, Splatoon, Uno, Super Mario Odyssey, ARMS. He is playing a whole lot. All of those games are ones that I own. Those are all games that I own. They're all great.
Good old Uno. Uno got updated apparently, so now we can finally play with our friends. Yeah, we'll have to try it again sometime.
Only took forever in a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out then. I did, totally side note, they made the Duo card game. I don't know if you guys ever played it. Don't play it. It's by the makers of Uno. It's terrible. It's trash.
Oh, you mean Dos?
Bother. Oh, I heard it. Dos.
No, that's right. Dos, not Duo. I couldn't even remember the name. That's how bad it is.
Yeah. It is. I bought it because I saw it at Target and it was like, that's interesting. And it was like $6 and I was like, and it is, yeah, it's nothing special. Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks like Blake said he's been playing Marvel Superheroes 2 and Lost Sphere. Javery Jefferson's also been playing Snipper Clips. Mike said Monster Hunter World. His Switch has been neglected a bit.
How is that possible? There's so many games.
I don't know, Mike. What are you doing?
I don't know. He plays a lot of PC games too. So
yeah, no, I was just.
Yeah,
I need to fire up.
Do
you
guys that have like? Because I got Lego Marvel 2, and I actually need to do the review on that at some point. But that doesn't have any multiplayer in it, does it? Like online, just the local.
I don't know. I think local.
Play together.
I don't know about online. I know it does have local. I don't know about. I'm looking to see if I have the case here. I don't think so.
I don't have the case.
Yeah, I don't think it is online.
Because I played through the main game and beat that and everything for a while, but now like there's so many different side quests and still more things to unlock and find and everything too. So like every once in a while I'll boot it up and start playing through as many side quests as I can and everything. But there's a ton of game there for sure, and it'd be fun to do it co-op to get some of those things together. But yeah, I'm not sure if they actually have it or not.
Right. Blake says just local, not online, I believe.
Yeah,
gotcha.
That's what I thought it was.
Lego needs to get on that.
You know what, Steve? Steve, it's too bad you moved to Colorado, man. We could totally do local, We could have chilled. It's all your fault. You gotta move.
It's hey, you know, Colorado is beautiful around this time of year, and the Northeast has not been so much. So feel free to come out and play here.
It's gonna be warmer now. We're done. We're ready to go. Nothing like snow on Monday, and half of it melted by the end of the day, and 60-degree temperatures today. So we're good.
Till the next nor'easter.
No more.
Right.
No more. We're done. No more any nor'easters.
Man, 60s. We're in the 40s over here, so.
Really? Yeah, we're 60s here in Colorado too. So. In fact, it was 71 yesterday, I think. So, yeah.
We're kind of all over the place. I don't even know what we are here. Up and down. That's for sure. So lots of a variety of games that we've been playing. So as you can see, lots of possibilities in case you're looking for anything to try out on the Switch and maybe even the 3DS as well.
There's been a lot of sales lately too. I'm gonna say,
actually there
has.
They've
been throwing out so many sales. So like, if you've been thinking about some games for a while, but kind of been holding back, they've been throwing out a lot of really good deals lately.
Those sales almost make me want to spend my whole 60 gold points. I spent
all $2.90 that I had racked up on a pack of crate keys for Rocket League.
I'm about to spend my gold points on the Splatoon 2 pre-purchase.
There you go. Saving a couple dollars,
Got like 60 coins expiring this month and like 50 expiring the next month. And I was just looking that over. I could have saved 2 cents if I'd bought it last month, though. I had 20 coins expired.
Sad.
Man, those 2 cents. You missed out.
You missed out, man.
I'm expecting a check from Nintendo any day now.
But yeah, definitely check out the eShop and keep an eye out for all the different sales. It's nice to have consistent sales sort of rolling through the eShop. So definitely check that out if you get the chance. But speaking of games to be on the lookout for, Nintendo, after the Nintendo Direct, they weren't finished. They decided it was time for a Nindies Showcase. So we got a spring showcase discussing a couple different Nindie titles, and we wanted to review some of that today on the podcast. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm just going to do a couple at a time, maybe like 3 or 4 games, and then we'll talk about it, do another 3 or 4 just to kind of group them together. So I don't know if this is in any particular order, from the spring showcase or not, but essentially one of the games was Mark of the Ninja Remastered. It's a HD remaster of a 2012 game where you take control of a ninja that sneaks, stabs, and outsmarts enemies. And it's like a 2D style game coming out this spring. Then there's Fantasy Strike coming this summer on the eShop, where it looks like it's a world where fantasy meets martial arts and anything can become a weapon. So you use different simplified controls to pull off special moves and combos in local and online brawls as well. And then Just Shapes and Beats. So it's described as a musical bullet hell that has players trying to stay alive to the beat of the music, either alone or in online multiplayer. So there's music from 20 chiptunes artists, and it's a timed exclusive on the Nintendo Switch this summer. And then there's Garage, which it's a gory game that's inspired by VHS-era B-movies. It launches first on the Switch this spring. It's a top-down shooter, and basically you're slaying the undead with various weapons as you try to stay alive. So out of those titles, do any of those stick out to you as games that you are interested in?
Chirp.
Take that silence as no, I guess.
I was waiting for you, Steve. I guess.
Were you?
Mark and Ninja for me.
I mean, just a general comment. I think this is gonna probably be the same comment for everything that we're gonna talk about in this. I was actually telling Hassan earlier that I can't remember if I fully watched this Nindies Direct thing because I was busy with a meeting or something like that and missed it. And I remember starting this video like later in the day, but I don't know if I have actually finished it. So I'm still kind of in the dark about a lot of these games. They're interesting. I think they sound interesting. It reminds me of kind of like, I guess Steam is still like that, where just like a lot of different random games will pop up, and some of them are awesome. Some of them are kind of terrible, but you just get a lot of different, I guess, just different types of games because they're open to these indie developers, and I think that's really cool. But for me, none of those have stood out to say, man, I've got to get this day one. But I'm intrigued enough where I'll keep looking into them and I'll check it out and everything. But yeah, nothing day one for me.
I do know there were some that looked very interesting, but I'm having difficulty figuring out like the names or which ones that I was interested in. So I kind of dropped the ball there and should have rewatched the thing to be more prepared for which ones that I'm interested in. So unfortunately, it's kind of like Steve's where he didn't even watch it. Mine's more like I don't have a recollection of the exact titles that I'm interested in, but I know there was a number of them that are, and I've been trying to get like a list that has some sort of screenshot or something that I can try to reference. But
man,
yeah, and by the way, I'm using Polygon's website in case anybody needs a reference.
We came so prepared for your last episode here.
11 minutes.
Oh, I don't even remember the games either, so I'm sorry. Barry seems to be the only one potentially.
Yeah, Mark and Ninja looks good. It's a game I wanted to play in 2012 and I didn't. The shapes one, I'm not big into that type of rhythm game. Some of the ones I was more interested in you haven't mentioned yet. But for me, the biggest takeaway is how many of these are going to get physical, because as awesome as some of these games looked, if it's not getting a physical and I don't get a review code, I'm probably not going to play it, as awesome as it is, just due to time. But if they get a physical release, I will most certainly support it day one. But yeah, even Mark and Ninja, like, I want to play that. I've heard nothing but good things about it. I was so excited to see it for the Switch. But if it's digital only, I guess I'll just live without playing it for a while until it's free or something.
Yeah, I think the only one that really kind of just going back to it that really stands out to me that I want to know more about is the Garage one, because of being the gory VHS era kind of B movie thing. that's just interesting. So I'm like, yeah, that's even by the description alone, I'm like, yeah, I want to know more about that one. Not necessarily I'm like I have to have it, but all right, you got me. Like I'll bite.
See, that description got me too, but I didn't like the gameplay they showed, like in the Nindies. I was like, it doesn't captivate me.
Yeah, maybe I actually I go back and watch the video, then I'll think differently as well.
Yeah, definitely. If anybody has not, which I guess probably most of the NintendoFuse crew, it falls in that category, need to go check out the Nindies Showcase, or at least rewatch it to see the footage there as well. So we'll just keep going through these games. In fact, let me just run through the rest of them then, and we'll kind of sort of group together some of the thoughts that we have. So there's Pool Panic, where published by Adult Swim Games. You have over 100 levels. Players will take aim in cities, jungles, and deserts solo or with up to 4 friends in local multiplayer when the game launches this year. So it's a pool game. Then we have Bomb Chicken. It's an action platformer where you're playing as a bomb-laying chicken. So you use your bombs to defeat enemies and solve puzzles. Launches first on the Switch later this summer. Looks like Mike in the chat is really excited about Bomb Chicken as well. Luminous Remastered. So this classic music-based puzzle game is coming to Nintendo Switch this spring with an HD remake. This version has a single-player mode and local multiplayer. Then there's Reigns, Kings and Queens, coming this spring exclusively for the Switch with a new co-op mode. So you take control of your kingdom by swiping left and right on the various requests from the people of your kingdom. Then there's Lightfall, fast-paced platforming adventure game where players take control of the Shadow Core, which is a magical box that propels them throughout each of the game's stages. There's also a speedrun mode with global leaderboards, and it launches first on Nintendo Switch as a timed console exclusive this spring. Then there's West of Loathing, Wild West themed, goofy RPG filled with plenty of puzzles, puns, and turn-based combat, coming as a console exclusive to the Switch this spring. Pode is a co-op puzzle game inspired by Norwegian art and culture, coming this spring to the Switch. The Messenger is a unique side-scroller where you can actually switch between an 8-bit look and a 16-bit look as you time travel through the adventure. There's a mix of upgrades, abilities, and speedrunning opportunities, and it arrives this summer. Bad North is a roguelite real-time strategy game. You can get your Viking battles on when this game launches first on the Nintendo Switch in the summer. And then the Banner Saga games will be coming to the Nintendo Switch. All 3 Banner Saga games, the trilogy, this summer. The first 2 titles have already been released previously, I guess, on other systems. So players can play through the entire story-driven adventure on the Switch, and your choices that you play will carry out throughout each of the 3 titles, just like games on other platforms. So whatever you do in the first game will carry on to the second and into the third, which is pretty cool. So out of those games, what interests you? I will say, personally, the one thing that sticks out to me, I don't know if there's any specific game, but just the fact that I'm noticing a lot of these Nindies are really looking at speedrunning. And so they're incorporating that into their games because that's something that obviously is popular, but I feel like the Switch also lends itself well to that. And I think it's cool to see that speedrunning community kind of grow through some of these games.
Yeah, that's true. And I think they're taking advantage of so much, like, the speedrunning community on Twitch and everything else that people are just going to go crazy about. And classic Nintendo kind of lends itself to that anyhow. So I think it's a smart idea. I think it's interesting that Reigns King and Queens game. I just thought of Tinder like the whole time, and like you're describing it, you like swipe left and swipe right in the game to somehow figure out how to never-ending requests from peasants. I'm just like, what? This is like ancient Tinder, is what it kind of seems like. But I probably the only really the thing that really stands out to me really is Bomb Chicken. It sounds interesting. It's fast-paced and it's a puzzle game, kind of arcadey, platformy kind of style. That tends to be kind of my kind of the bread and butter that I kind of tend to go after games like that. And so I'm definitely going to give that another look. And that may be, out of all the whole list, that may be the one that I would gravitate toward, that kind of stands out above the rest for me, is probably Bomb Chicken.
Nice. The actually, before we continue on to Greg, we do have somebody on the line, and I don't want to lose them just in case they happen to drop off or something. So we have somebody from North Carolina on the line. So let's get them on and see.
Hey, Hassan.
Hey, how's it going? What's your name?
Oh, it's DJ.
DJ. What's up, DJ? Thanks for calling in. So we're talking about the Nintendo Switch Nindies Showcase. Is there any games that really stuck out to you from this?
Oh, well, I actually missed that podcast, though, actually.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, just in general, are there any... Do you have a Nintendo Switch?
Oh, no, I don't, actually. I'm trying to get one, though. And, well, the first game I get along with Nintendo Switch is actually Breath of the Wild, actually.
Nice. Yeah, that's a fantastic game, definitely. And well worth picking up if you do get a Switch, for sure. Well, definitely. That's cool. Well, thank you for calling in. I know you don't have a Switch yet, but hopefully by the end of this podcast, you'll have lots of great ideas for some games to pick up. So take care, man. Thanks. Yeah. What's up?
What's up? I was wanting to know, what is your,
Oh, like on the system and everything. I'll have to check that out and get what the code is. I don't have it on hand, but definitely I want to do some more games online and play with the community. So I'll definitely have to share that soon, and then we can play some games for sure.
Oh, my God, I'm actually getting a Nintendo eShop card also.
Oh, you're getting an eShop card tomorrow. Nice. Nice. Well, cool. Hopefully there's some good games that you'll get some idea of to purchase from us from the podcast.
I'm trying to get the analysis of that one.
Okay. Gotcha. Oh, nice. Is your birthday coming up?
Yes, that's June 18th.
Oh, cool. Well, happy early birthday.
When we are born, actually.
So my birthday's in January. So yeah, my birthday has passed, but no, happy early birthday to you, and definitely enjoy it, and hopefully you have a good day. So we got a bunch of Nindy games to discuss here, but definitely tune in and listen in and see if there's any specific titles that interest you. But yeah, thanks for calling in. Take care. Yeah, good night. Yeah.
Okay. I'll see you on YouTube, actually.
Sounds good. Take care, man. Thank you.
See ya.
Bye.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I don't know
cool.
if,
Well, yeah.
YouTube
So,
could
thank
hear
you
that,
for calling in. The and happy early birthday to you, DJ, for sure. I would like to welcome Jakester, the Knight of Darkness, in the chat as well. What's up? All right. So let's go on to Greg.
Okay, so then since my last comment, I was actually able to watch a couple trailers and refamiliarize myself with some of
Nice.
the games that are coming. So,
Multitasking.
yeah, definitely Bomb Chicken was definitely on my radar. I definitely like the platformer ones, and I've always been a fan of like the classic Bomberman, so it's kind of interesting to see how this game is going to turn out. Obviously, it kind of looks to be kind of similar where you're not able to jump, at least from what I remember from the trailer. So that will be definitely a pretty interesting puzzle game, sort of an action. The West of Loathing actually kind of caught my attention a little bit because I like those kind of like weird RPG games. That's kind of like those Mario and Luigi games that have that goofy sense of humor, and then there's like puzzles and RPG elements. That's always my type of game. And then Pode has also sounded kind of somewhat interesting. I do like those kind of puzzle games with like the action adventure kind of stuff mixed in, where you're kind of just moving across different levels and using different powers and abilities. And then finally, The Messenger also looked really cool. I like those kind of brawler games and the classic style graphics like the NES and SNES type stuff. So was also looking forward to that one as well. So there you go. More information.
Greg speaking like he did his homework.
A for effort.
There you go. All right, Barry, what about you?
Bomb Chicken for sure. Messenger looks great, although it looks like Ninja Gaiden in a way. But I like those type of games, so I'm interested to try that. And Lightfall just looks amazing. And trying to set up an interview right now with the developers of that game. So hopefully we can have an industry talk on them or with them. That'd be great. But yeah, those are the other standouts. Some of the other ones looked okay. But again, it wasn't like, oh my god, I totally wish I could play this right now. It was more like, if I get a code or there's a physical copy, I might give it a try. I think it's great that they're getting it. I'm glad that there's a lot of exclusives or timed exclusives. I just wish Nintendo would approach the bigger third parties and assist them the way they're doing it with indies, especially with so many third-party physical games taking up so much space. You need an SD card when Nintendo's are so tiny. Like, they need to say, hey, you know what? You can do so much better. Let us help you, because it's only going to help their system, which is only going to increase their profit. But instead, they're just focusing on the indies, it seems.
Right. Yeah, definitely. It is interesting seeing that big focus for Nindies on the from Nintendo in general, with kind of these little showcases that they have. So that's pretty cool. Nothing specifically stuck out to me from what they showed. It was nice seeing a variety of types of games, and like Barry said, how they're either timed or just exclusives outright. It's kind of nice to have some of those. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the only other indie game that comes to mind right now is Runner 3, but that wasn't included in this showcase. But that's the one that's kind of that I'm looking forward to. Yeah, definitely, it's interesting to see a variety of games that are available there. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, anything else on the Nindies Showcase?
No, not necessarily on that, but just kind of just a general thought. I mentioned Steam earlier, and I think it is pretty cool that a lot of these developers are feeling quite comfortable, bringing their games over to the Switch. And that might be kind of we mentioned it before, how I think a lot of PC gamers are going to feel very comfortable with the Switch being like, they prefer the PC games and stuff when they're home and everything, but now they can have something to take on the go and still have very similar games and a lot of the same stuff that they're playing on their computer, but now they can bring it with them with the Switch or play it on their TV and stuff. So I think it's cool what they're doing. But like Barry said, I hope they continue to branch out and get some of the bigger third parties on board as well. And just continue that. We've seen, it seems like they're trying a little bit, but it'd be nice to see them put a lot more effort into it, and for us to see both sides of it. I think it's great to see the indies. It's great to see these guys that are exploring different options with video games, and it's really cool to see that happening. But it'd be nice to see more on the other side as well.
Yeah, the problem is that Nintendo needs to escape this whole... I mean, they're escaping the kitty image, which is great, but they need to escape the whole secondary system. Right now, it seems like, have a PC, have a PS4 or Xbox One, and a Switch. And use the Switch for portable gaming, for Nintendo games, for indie games. But unless you want to play the AAA games on the go, you could also say, hey, I could play it on the Switch, and it'd be great on the TV, or I could play it on the PS4 Pro or the Xbox One X, and it looks a lot better on the TV if that's where you're going to be playing it. So they need to say, hey, you know what? You can get all those same games here. At least have it be more competitive, because otherwise it's, if they're fine with the secondary system, that's fine. But it would be nice to see them on top again like they used to be.
Yeah. And I have seen, it's interesting. So I've been talking to a couple other people that are not really into gaming, but a little bit. So they're more on the casual side of things, and in different Facebook groups or different stuff that I'm in. And they are often asking hey, you know what? I'd like to get into gaming. I don't have one of the newer systems. What should I get? And before, for a long time, it was just Xbox or PlayStation. That was pretty much the only people that were recommending something, were those two. But now I am starting to see people recommending the Switch above Xbox and above PlayStation again. So I think they're getting some natural momentum from their own games and from some of this stuff. But I think, like you said, signing on some of these big third-party games will continue to elevate it even more, and where you will start seeing a lot more people pick up the Switch as their primary console and not in addition to, or not the secondary console anymore.
The biggest things is, they need to get Activision and EA. They need Madden. They need Call of Duty. You know, the Rockstar with Grand Theft Auto. I mean, these aren't games I particularly like, but they sell a lot, and that will help. Like Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming out. Like, you know, it looks great. If they could secure Red Dead Redemption 2 portably, even if it came out a month or two later, still having that on the go, that would be huge. That would sell systems.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think definitely they right now they're kind of in that position of you can either buy a Switch and get these games, or you can buy, you know, a PS4 and Xbox and get these games. Like, people have to kind of decide, and they're going to potentially lean one way or the other, but Nintendo should be in that position of, okay, well, now the Switch should be the main system that you just sort of go to because all the games are on there. Even if it's not the greatest version of those games, get the games on there, start growing those communities. And I think that will help grow the install base and continue to further expand what the system will do.
Right. And like, I just saw this come across Twitter that they just announced that Overwatch Retribution is coming out in April. And like, yeah, get Overwatch on there. Get those other ones that you know, they're coming out with these other, you know, enhanced versions of even the older games. Like, it's okay. Like, they're doing that some, but they're doing it with like 7 and 8 year old games. Okay. Like, Overwatch is just a couple years old now. Like that's a little better. Like get that kind of stuff on there in addition to the brand new Call of Duty. Get Fortnite. Exactly. Like, Fortnite should be able to run on the Switch without any problems.
It's on, right.
Exactly. Yeah, and PUBG and Fortnite are both running on mobile phones now. They should be able to run on this thing now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that would be huge, I think, for sure.
Yeah. Because those are the things that, you know, you work in that, and you put in, like, let's say local multiplayer in there. All of a sudden now you have that built into your Switch, and you can go to, you know, we were already talking about like playing Mario Kart and Smash Brothers and stuff like that when you go to gaming events or whatever. Now just thinking about, you know, everybody jumping in on some huge, you know, Fortnite game at PAX or something like that. How awesome that would be.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah,
make it happen. Make it happen. Nintendo.
I'd also like to see some more like console exclusives in the line of like Mario and Rabbids, like having them other companies have a console exclusive using their characters. So.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, if you remember back in the GameCube days, I mean, they had Amusement Visions from Sega do F-Zero. They had both Rare and Namco do Star Fox. You know, like that was great. Like, you don't have to in-house develop it. I mean, you did, you know, with Team Ninja with Metroid Other M. Okay, that wasn't the greatest, but still, do that more. Let them design stuff for you. The Mario & Rabbids was great, and those will help sell consoles. But they can have their cake and eat it too. They could easily get in bed with EA or something and say, hey, you know what? We're going to give you one of our properties. You make the game exclusive for us. That's going to make you a ton of money. In addition to that, you give us Madden, you give us, you know, FIFA, you give us, you know, NHL, you give us NASCAR, all these things. Like, give us these sports games. Give us EA. EA has BioWare. Hey, you know what? You put Mass Effect 3 on the Switch or on the Wii U. Get Mass Effect Trilogy on the Switch. Have that portable. New Dragon Age is coming out. Get that on the Switch. Anthem. Get Anthem on the Switch, at least a version of Anthem if it can't run fully. And the same thing with Activision. Hey, we want Call of Duty. Get us Call of Duty. You know, get us Destiny 2 or Destiny 3 or whatever you want to put out. Put that out on us. Oh, and here we're going to give you a property. Use this. Maybe make a Splatoon. Maybe make a Splatoon offshoot that, you know, with a Call of Duty skin. I don't care. Like, just something. Get those exclusives as well as those ports, because even if like, let's say Madden sells, you know, 15 million on Xbox One and 14 million on PS4 and only 8 million on the Switch, that's still 8 million units sold on the Switch. That's still how many people will say, I want to play Madden on the go. I want to go to a convention and play against other people. I'm going to go on an airplane and, oh man, if I could play Madden on the airplane, that's great. Because there's these die-hard people who love football. Get that on there. Even if it sells the least, it still sales, and people might buy the system for it. In fact, I'm willing to bet people will buy the system for those games.
Yeah. And even if it's not for that game specifically, but the collection of different games together, like that I can get Madden, and I can get Fortnite, and I can get Call of Duty, and I can get Mario, and I can get Zelda, all that collection together, that will send people over for sure.
Here's a thought. Let them do the sports games. Mario Baseball, Mario Soccer, Mario NASCAR.
I want another Strikers. Please give me another Strikers.
Yes.
That game was so much fun.
Oh,
Yeah,
be
well,
awesome.
that's another thing. Think about that, Matt. Well, I mean, Camelot has a monopoly with that. Like, let Camelot just keep developing that, but still, get more. Put more of these things out. There's tons of great third-party games. Ubisoft did Mario and Rabbids. Great. Well, what happened to Assassin's Creed? Why is that not being brought back to Nintendo? Bring that back. You brought Watch Dogs. Is there Watch Dogs 3 coming? Bring that. I mean, other than Just Dance and Mario and Rabbids, we're Steep. Steep was promised at the launch, and it's still not there. Mike just said NBA Street V3. That was EA. They had the arcade. Remember Blitz, NFL Blitz? That was Midway. Get into the Blitz on there. Like, I'm not a big sports guy, but these will sell systems. It's smart business. They don't need to cater to the people who like action or RPG or stuff like that already, because they have our sales. There's already enough content coming.
Yeah. Well, and for a while, wasn't it like, and especially in Europe, FIFA was selling the most on Wii, until they, eventually they, get taken over and everything, but by the other systems, and they started just crapping out and not putting it out on the system anymore. And then we've dealt with it for a while like that. But that's what system it was selling on the most. And it can happen again. Like, I think now we're in that place where people are getting a new system and they're okay. Like, I don't find as many people that are tied down to one thing anymore. Now we're kind of in that time where they could jump over. They're not as tied down to like, I'm only Xbox, I'm only PlayStation, I'm only Nintendo. And so this could be a great time for Nintendo to be strategic and say, okay, we know people are kind of like that. Maybe I'm wrong, but at least from the people that I talk to, that seems like to be the case right now. This could be a strategic time for them to say, okay, hey, now we have those games, and it might push people over, and all of a sudden there's a whole bunch more, hardware sales for them.
The funny thing is that I don't know how many people listening to this will remember this, and I might be dating myself, but back in the days of the NES, one of the main reasons that Nintendo and the NES was so successful and won and destroyed the Master System in the States, as well as anything Atari threw out, was, yes, getting Rob, using Rob as a ploy to get into Toys R Us and stuff like that certainly helped. But the reason they really, really won it is they went to third parties and they told third parties, you have to develop for our system. If you want to put a game in our system, it is going to be exclusive. You can't develop for anybody else. So all the big third parties, Capcom, Square, EA, Activision, Midway, Acclaim, etc., they were all developing exclusively for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Yes, that is illegal now. They can't do those practices anymore. But they were so gung-ho. They were so, we want you on our system. Where are they doing that now? Where did the backbone drop when Iwata took over or something? Like, get out there, be aggressive. You already have the sales to prove it. You already say, look at how much we sold in the first year. Look at how much we continue to sell. Our numbers are there. You have the money to throw. Hey, EA, what would it take? Hey, Activision, what would it take? Ubisoft, what would it take? THQ, what will it take? Rockstar, Take-Two, what will it take? Get these things. Square Enix. Hey, you're doing Final Fantasy VII, remake. Get that on the Switch. Secret of Mana remake. Get that on the Switch. Port over the collection to the United States and Europe. Translate that for the Mana collection. Get these titles on there. I mean, think about it. They could get like Final Fantasy 14 on the Switch. We would get an MMO, and they already advertised an MMO on the Switch. Get a big one like that. Go to Blizzard. Hey, how about World of Warcraft? I'm not a World of Warcraft player, but I know that would sell gangbusters if you could do it portably. The market's there. Just get it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. There's a lot that they could really do with some of these game releases, for sure. The and if anybody in the chat as well has other ideas for certain things, please post them in there. But since we're talking about ideas for things, sort of our next topic, it kind of lends to this as well, because we're talking about potential ideas for what Nintendo could add in firmware updates for the Nintendo Switch. So in terms of what else could release for the system. So I don't know what like, is there anything that you guys have been really wanting on the Switch since day one, like some sort of feature or something in a firmware update? Well, what are you guys looking for?
Themes. Really, other than like the pitiful online crap that's out right now, like that aside, that is what I really want fixed. I just want some themes. It'd be cool to look at something other than black or dark gray or whatever. And I think, yeah, other than like some of the games we've been talked about, I think game I love. Yeah, I mean, we talked about this on the podcast when they announced Rocket League. I was super excited for that one. That one's one of the games that I really, really was hoping that they brought to it, and they did. And I played it so much, and I'm so excited that it came. I think other games like that would be awesome. I think bringing Fortnite over would be a brilliant idea, and I really don't know why they haven't yet. Maybe maybe this is ridiculous, but maybe they're waiting to announce it at E3 or something like that, which would be really cool. And I hope they do. But I think fixing things, I think like the online stuff, I think just updating the UI a little bit. It's fine. It doesn't need to be overcomplicated, but it's missing some simple things that could make it a little better. Even like not being able to like have a full, I know that they don't want to put a full browser in there because of exploits and all those other things, and I understand that, but at the same time, you can't do certain things on it. I think even like Netflix and YouTube and stuff, it'd be nice to have on there. But yeah, I think the biggest thing is update the online. Like they keeps getting put off, and like just make it happen and make it good. And then I think what we've talked about already is pushing for those third parties, those ones that are really could be huge system sellers. I think things like Fortnite, I think like the sports games, I think those are going to be huge, and that'd be the things that I'd go after.
Right. What about you, Greg?
I'm sure a lot of the online stuff will be coming later in September, and we'll be covering that in the coming days.
Or put off to next year.
Yeah, I definitely think something like cloud saves and having like this unified account thing would be really great. So like if we bought virtual console games on the Wii U or the 3DS, we were just be able to download them. That'd be fantastic. We have our Nintendo ID linked and all that kind of stuff, so should be pretty known like what you purchased on the last two consoles. Definitely one of the UI things I'd like is a folder structure. I really like the organization on the 3DS and the Wii U, being able to put stuff into folders. I think it's a lot easier to have an organized home menu. Just if I want to play whatever game that I've downloaded, then it'd be nice to be able to look in the folder for like, indie games or full games I downloaded type stuff, or these are my multiplayer games that I like to play with friends, because scrolling back to find Mario Kart 8 in the back is not the best way to be like, hey, I haven't played this in forever, so it's way back here. So I think some quality of life stuff like that would be really nice.
Cool.
Yeah, virtual console, yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the cloud saves, Greg, because I totally forgot about that. That would be awesome, as I've heard too many horror stories of people so far that have sent their system in to get repaired, or something else happens to it or whatever, and then they've lost everything. And so I think that would be huge if they add something in like that. So hopefully hopefully that comes with the online update later on this year, but we'll see.
Yeah, for sure. What about you, Barry?
My number one thing is achievements, or trophies. I've always been a fan of that system. I've loved it since the launch day of the 360, and I'd like to see more of things like that implemented, especially if they did something where you can use these achievement points and turn them into gold coins. You know, like maybe 1,000 achievement points is half of a gold coin or something. You know, totally make
You
it
get it.
Nintendo.
Yeah, 2 cents.
Yeah, less than that. That's too much. Come on, who do you think they made of money? No, less than that. But yeah, I'd also like to
2 bits.
do it. I'd like to see cloud saves as well, just as a backup, not as a mandatory. I definitely want on cart saves or on the SD card saves, but I want cloud saves as an option, especially for to prevent those horror stories. Virtual console, I could take it or leave it because I know some people love it, and for the people who love it and the people who are dying for it, I want it there. What I would like to do for them to do instead, and I'm going to play devil's advocate, and some people will be like, I kill you. I would like them to do Nintendo collections like Namco used to do collections, Namco museums. Back when that first came out, they did it on the PlayStation 1. They did 5 volumes or 6 if you lived in Japan, and it was great. It was a nice catalog. And they can totally do that, and they even did it based on NAMCO, like with the logo. They can make a Nintendo collection that's just, spelling out Nintendo and make it all NES stuff. And then they could spell out Super and make it a Super Nintendo one, and, N64, make a, an N64 one, etc. And just have all these collections on carts, and you can just pop it in, boom, you have it all, on the go. I think that would sell like crazy. I think that would be a no-brainer. Look at the NES Classic. The NES Classic was what, 30 games? 30 games for $60. 30 games for $60. I guarantee you, if they took those same 30 games and put it on an NES one Switch card and sold it for $30, people would go crazy. Oh, you mean I don't have to use up an HDMI port? I already have a Switch and I can play them on the go. Easy money. Easy money. It's guaranteed, and it's a format that works. Namco's done it. Midway did it. Acclaim did it. Activision has done it. How many compilations are there? There's tons. Let's do that. I think that's a no-brainer, and I can't believe they haven't done it yet. It's their own properties too.
Yeah,
but
it is interesting. Yeah, because I don't know if Nintendo has told people, like companies, not to do that because they have their own properties. It's almost like why are they holding back on their own properties, and why have they not put out collections or remastered editions or something like that? I wonder if Nintendo is putting the brakes on them because of something they're eventually going to release. I don't know, because it does seem like a no-brainer.
They could even do themed collections. I mean, the Wii had the Kirby Dream Collection. That was a good collection. Do that with more. It also had the Super Mario All-Stars, which was a terrible port, because it didn't even include Super Mario World, and that ROM existed. It was just switch the ROM on the disc. But have a Mario collection of all the 2D Mario games. Easy. The Zelda collection on GameCube was fun. It was 4 games. Put more on there. It would eat up Metroid. Or better yet, how about Mother? Like Mike did for our April Fool's thing.
And then wasn't that announced?
Yeah, already. Amazon Canada already leaked it. But no, these are easy things to do, and it's their own property. And it's the reason they're doing all these Wii U ports right now are filler. It's filler. It's filler for in between the new games. It's games that didn't get the attention they deserved, and that's great. But they're going to run out of Wii U ports very, very soon at the rate they're going. This is great filler content. Hey, we have no big game for the month of September. Let's throw out 2 compilations of old games. The NES Classic Edition and the SNES Classic Edition are proof positive that people are hot on nostalgia. People want to relive their childhood and have it on the go. I can't fathom why they haven't done this yet. If Virtual Console was already out, I could see it, but it's not. It's over a year now. This is a no-brainer.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, I think there's a lot of potential there for Nintendo to release some of that that content as well. So Mike in the chat is saying, he also agrees on cloud saves. More themes would be nice. The Wii U even had colored folder themes, web browser, a lot of the common stuff that we've heard. I mean, me personally, like cloud saves, definitely. But I'd love to have some way to back everything up. And I don't know. I guess I would just like to see more integrated features, because I know Nintendo had their whole voice chat thing, right? Like, not very popular in terms of the way they implemented it. But maybe they can reconsider and change the way they implement it. Maybe they implement some kind of voice, like built-in voice chat or something, or at least a more integrated. And this may come with their online system. I don't know, or maybe this will just be like a separate kind of thing. But I liked how I forget, was it the 3DS or one of the systems would actually tell you, for example, like let's say you're online in Mario Kart or something, like it would tell you like you're racing in Mario Kart or you're doing that. Like it would be more specific than just you're online. Like then you actually know, because I see like, otherwise I'm like, oh, somebody's online in Splatoon, but are they just playing single player? Right. Are they actually doing turf war? Like then you can actually, try and join up and play games online together. It helps you know.
And the cool thing with the 3DS version is like it not only shows you what they're doing in there, but if they're in a certain mode that allows it, you can jump into that game with them. And like it was awesome at the time. It was like it was, I feel like it was decades ahead of where some other online components for video games were, and now they've forgotten it altogether. Like that was a really cool feature.
All these things that they've implemented in other systems, bring it back. That
was super awesome in Mario Kart 7. It'd be like, oh, I see someone's online. I'll just jump in and play a number of matches. I don't know if they knew I was there, but it was like I was joining like my friends playing. It was really cool.
And they should bring back the camera thing too. I mean, Star Fox 64 3D, seeing the faces and dogfighting was pretty cool, especially for the time.
It's true. And it'd make a lot more sense if it was online.
Oh, yeah.
Because in person, it was like, I can just look to the left and see you, but... oh, man. Yeah, I think... there's something else. I forgot what I was going to say. Go ahead.
Well, I think it's interesting, too, because I wonder how much of the foundation is being laid with these firmware updates and what we're going to see coming soon. Because one of the things as well, the Joy-Cons, the right Joy-Con, the home button, has this little circle around it. That's actually an LED, but it doesn't really ever light up when you're playing the Switch. Like, why is that? That has the ability to light up. People can hack their Joy-Cons to, like, have it light up, but then once you, like, turn it off or whatever, then it will reset or something. But the potential is there. So why isn't that being used? Like, is that going to be something in the future where, like, the home button flashes when your friend is online or wants you to join a party or something, or like use that to your advantage, like just like how the 3DS had the flashing light, or like there's different ways of doing it. But I wonder how much of that is actually going to be used to its full potential, because I think there's a lot of opportunity there.
Maybe it's part of Lebo.
Maybe. Hey, that's it. Buy our cardboard, and you could do like Animal Crossing and unlock NES games and stuff.
Or it could be those, like some of those features like what was it? Was it the N64 or Super Nintendo? Whichever one that had the expansion port thing at the bottom that they were going to use, but then they never did. And
well, that was the N64, and they did use it. The Super Nintendo had one as well, but that one never got used.
Yeah, SNES then. Yeah, because the 64 was used for some other stuff. But yeah, then it was there, but they never actually used it. So yeah, we could end up with one of those things that we'll never know what it was originally intended for, or maybe they didn't know. They're just like, maybe we'll use it, maybe not. It costs 2 cents to throw it in.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, actually, no, that's not true. It was used for the beta Satellaview. In the Super Famicom, and I think they included it on the Super Nintendo in hopes of bringing the Satellaview over, but they never did.
Gotcha. So it looks like we actually have another caller this time from Florida. So I do want to get the caller on the line here. So let's see. So hello in Florida.
Hello, how are you doing?
Good. How are you? What's your name?
Jake.
Jake. How's it going, Jake?
I'm good, how are you?
Good. So, do you have a Nintendo Switch?
Yep.
Are there any like specific games that you would like to see on the Nintendo Switch, or any sort of features that you really would like to have on the system? Yeah, definitely. I totally agree. Are there any games that you've been playing lately, specifically for the Switch?
Xenoblade was one, and then Lego Marvel 2.
Nice.
Good man.
Nice.
More Xenoblade players.
100 hours.
Nice. There you go. Now
Okay.
you just gotta come on here and you gotta tell Steve, and you gotta tell Greg, and you gotta tell Hassan that they need to play Xenoblade 2. That's your assignment.
Get Xenoblade going.
Hey, see, you gotta listen to the fans, guys. Come on.
That is true. That is true. No, that's awesome. That's really cool. Well, thank you for calling in, Jake. I appreciate it.
Thanks for letting me in.
All right, take care.
Yeah. See ya.
Bye.
So, yeah.
Cool. Always good to hear from the listeners. But yeah, definitely so lots of potential. So Mike in the chat says, so the LED, so it also flashed when they pushed an ad to the Wii U gamepad. I do remember that as well, that feature where like your gamepad could just be sitting there and then all of a sudden the screen would turn on, there'd be some ad on it, like they're just sending you the like the little advertisements. It was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'd want that on the Switch, but you know.
And it was loud too. It's like it scared my wife all the time. She's like, "What is going on? What's your video games doing now?"
I hated that thing. That was so annoying.
There's also the way you get phone calls through it as well for the video chat. So,
and how many here actually use that feature?
I think I used it twice within the first week.
Right.
I used it like right away to call my friend because we both got a Wii U, and it kept disconnecting, and that was the only time we ever used it.
Yeah, I think I only used it within the first month, and then that was it.
Yep.
So none of us called Grandpa for game tips on how to do Zelda, like in that video. Damn it! Come on, guys, we're all.
It would make a lot more sense if you could still talk to them while you're playing Zelda.
Yeah, I know. That's besides the point.
That's what Miiverse was
but
for.
yeah, no, definitely lots of
just
potential.
pause
for
and wait
people to
for
add
some random stranger to respond how to beat this puzzle while you just sat there and waited for.
Well, the
Good
problem
old
with
Miiverse.
that video chat was like it would take forever to even connect. So you'd be sitting there for like 2 minutes, like, okay, the person's not going to connect, and you'd leave. But that's like right when they would have connected. And they're like, oh no, I was actually joining. So then you'd go back, and then the opposite would happen. So it would take you like 10 minutes to even get on a call together. Like it was ridiculous.
It was forward thinking in a sense, but just poorly implemented. And that's Nintendo in a nutshell for the most part. They're very forward thinking, but they implement things poorly a lot of times.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what they kind of did with like so many things on, especially Wii U. I feel like they tried a lot more stuff like that, like TV and all this other stuff, but then they just decided to swing the complete opposite direction with the Switch, and it's like, you know what, we're going bare bones with this. It plays games, you can take it with you. It's That's all I got.
You know what? That has to be because of not only the failure of TV, but if you remember when the Xbox One was first shown off, they spent the majority of their E3 press conference talking about the media features, and they were ridiculed for it because people were watching E3 just for games. So they had to look at that and say, yeah, we're just games. Kind of like what the GameCube was, just for games. Although that time it bit them in the butt. But still, you know, just get Netflix on there and you're good. Like,
I mean, we got Hulu.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, they'll have to hopefully add some of that stuff. And, you know, who knows what Nintendo will come up with. Maybe they'll have their own way of doing certain things. Like, nobody would have thought about Nintendo Labo, right? So that's coming out very soon, this month now. So, and all the impressions that I've seen of that are getting me really excited about it, actually. I mean, all the things that you can do with it, the Toy-Con Garage, like, it's actually pretty complex, some of the stuff that you can customize and create with that stuff. So I'm actually really looking forward to it. Not because I'm super creative, but because I know the rest of the people on the internet are, and it'll be cool to see what they do, and then I can just copy that. So I'm looking forward to that part of it, basically.
That's why I like games like Mario Maker and games like that, because I enjoy other people's creativity, and I get to play it and watch it and observe.
You watch, like, by 421 Hassan's gonna come on. And he's gonna be like, "Hey guys, check this out! Look at little Labo Man." He's gonna push a button on the switch, and it's, you know, the little Labo Man speaker is gonna go. It's morphin time. It's gonna turn into a Power Ranger. Like, boom! I didn't even know you could do that, but he figured it out.
That's his next endeavor. That's really why he's stepping away from the podcast, so he can, you know, start up this second channel
Nintendo
on YouTube, Labo. Just Nintendo Labo all the time.
The world of Labo.
There you go.
The giant robot is gonna be their combination vehicle. They just like destroy it, like, and fight the other giant creature. So
that's what I'm gonna be wearing every day now. I'm gonna be wearing that Labo robot suit. Just gonna go to work in that.
That would be cool. You know, there's got to be a video of just somebody walking around like a public city, like New York, Chicago, you know, LA or something, with the robot backpack on and like just walking around. That's going to be
If not, you got to do it, Barry. You're close enough to New York. Just go walk around Times Square just with it.
If I can get out, I would. But you know what? Greg's also in Chicago, so he could do it too.
That's true. And he actually goes into the city quite often.
Yes. So. Yeah, there you go, Greg. You're up.
See, I can't do that in DC. I can't do that in DC because that would end out very badly for me. That people would take that the wrong way.
Yeah, head over to the White House there, Hassan.
There you go. There you go.
Donald Trump would throw you over the wall.
Labo would make some bad headlines there.
It's true. I could do it in Denver, but I probably just fit right in with other people. So, who knows?
But yeah, I don't know. We've kind of covered like a variety of different topics today. There wasn't any like specific major news, so it was sort of just like a grab bag of different things. Any other specific topics or like specific things you wanted to kind of cover before we sort of wrap up?
You mean by wrap up? You mean cover the first hour or so of this
right? Yeah,
elongated podcast.
Wrap up the first, honestly,
wrap up the first hour. I'm just gonna slowly step away for a bit. No.
One of the things that I looked down and I forgot that I had one of my Pro controllers, and actually what I would like to see is some different variations other than just the couple that we've seen so far. I want to see different colors in these things, and because it's one of the reasons why I've held off on buying any more, because I eventually do want to get at least 4. I have 2 so far, which is nice. I can have these 2 and my Joy-Cons, so I can play 4-player games if I needed to. But I would like to see different color variations of Joy-Cons. I think it's of the Pro controller. I think it's been cool to see the different Joy-Con colors, and I want to see more of those as they continue to go out. I really love my red ones that I imported from Japan, but they're still not out by themselves in America, which is crazy. But I'd also like to see them take that same approach to the Pro controller as well.
Yeah, especially because they updated the Switch recently so that the colors of the Pro controller now show up in the UI, which is nice. So it makes me think that hopefully we'll get some more. I could definitely see it for Smash. I mean, if they don't have one for Smash, something is wrong.
Right.
It's gonna be a
So-
GameCube colored one.
Yes,
Oh
that
yeah.
would be cool.
How about a left Joy-Con with an actual D-pad? I know Hori has one that's coming out with a third party, but let's get official one out there.
It's true. I've heard the Hori one's not very good either.
That's
Yeah,
what I
'cause
was
it's
saying.
only
I want an
in-
actual D-pad. I use the D-pad like all the time on the Wii U for when I could have used the joystick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say the Hori one's only D-pad in what, handheld mode or something, I think it is, or docked
Yeah,
mode.
because it has to
One
be
or the other.
attached.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
One of the things that I've noticed, I don't know if you guys have issues with this at all, but the last couple editions, I think the Wii U and the same D-pad that's on the Pro controller, I'm having issues with it rocking between too easily. And so like I don't remember ever having those issues on like NES, SNES, or even I don't think on the 64 or anything like that. But sometimes when I'm playing like I don't know puzzle games or whatever, when I have to be precise on the D-pad, the Wii U and the Switch, I feel like it rocks too much between the in between. And often try to go right, but I actually go up instead, or vice versa, or something like that. I haven't heard anybody else complain about it, so I feel like it's just a me issue, but it happens a lot to me. I don't know. Is that something you guys struggle with? And if so, like I think a better D-pad would be good for me, but maybe it's just something I struggle with.
I haven't played any puzzle games, I think, on the Wii U or the Switch that use the D-pad like that. Like even Tetris Puyo Puyo, which I meant to play, I didn't get a chance to. So I can't say either way.
I think I've
Yeah,
been
I'm trying to
having
think.
an issue like that with just the normal Joy-Cons though, because I feel like when I was playing Mario Kart with like the Joy-Cons detached, it was like not steering properly and stuff like that. So be like, oh, you're going right, and I was like, no, I'm not.
Yeah. Steve, it would be interesting to test, like, because you know how in the settings you can do like the button test and see which one's being pressed. It'd be interesting for you to use the D-pad and see like what direction is showing up if you keep pushing it, or like kind of playing around with it that way. I don't know that I've noticed it in particular with any of the games, but I don't really use the D-pad much.
I don't use it too much, but it's just it's in the games that I prefer to use it. It's because I would like more precise control, and that's when it doesn't do what I want it to do. Sometimes, not all the time, but just sometimes. So, but
I
I'll
think I really
check it out in the settings. I didn't think about that.
I did notice that in Bomberman when I was using the Pro controller.
Oh yeah, right. Yes, like Bomberman is one of the ones because you need to go directly up or left or right and down. And sometimes I'd go in the wrong direction.
Well, see, I had that problem before the update. Like when the game first launched, I noticed that significantly with the D-pad. But when I went back after the update, I didn't notice it as much. But yeah, Bomberman's one, not like a traditional puzzle game, but yeah, I did notice it originally there. Have you tried it since the patch?
I don't think I have. So yeah, I guess I didn't really think about that possibly being a software issue. So yeah, I'll have to go back and check it out and see if it's fixed. Yeah.
Because that was lagging a lot, I remember, and I also haven't gone back to it since the update.
Yeah,
so
there was lag.
To try it out and see.
Well, didn't you know we were beta testing that game? That's why it's coming out now on the other systems, because we beta tested it for a year. They perfected it, and now it's coming out.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, then I guess that about wraps it up for the discussion in the episode tonight.
Now Hassan is going to sing for us. Let's go, Hassan.
It's true.
On to round two. No.
Classic music section, like our old episodes.
Da, 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 da. No. I really do got to go back and find our old podcast and see the audio files from there.
Definitely. You can do a best of compilation.
That's true. That's true. I still never ended up doing that compilation of all the times that we talked about a Nintendo Direct and then Nintendo announced one like after that or something. That would be a good compilation there.
See, we need to play the best of clips now for Hassan, which is we're just gonna play episode 1 to 156 in a row right now for you guys, and then we'll come back. Easy peasy.
Yes,
Live commentary.
marathon.
You're just gonna play it and leave? Okay, I thought you meant like live commentary of every single episode right
Yes.
now.
Oh no, we're staying.
Like Mystery Science Theater.
There we go. But no, I think as we sort of wrap up this episode, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that has listened and joined the podcast. It was a fun thing to kind of start up and just be a part of these discussions, and mainly because it was sort of, NintendoFuse used to be We Nintendo, and in those days, just that's the small tight knit community, right? And we were all just kind of just loved hanging out and playing games together, and it was just fun to talk about games with people in that community, and it's been cool to see the folks that have come and gone through here, and even some of the folks that haven't been around for a while. Like I think it was Nick Sir Venom, I think it was, like, who recently just tweeted or whatever and was like, oh, I gotta catch up on some stuff or whatever. So like a couple people are just reminiscing about the days that they were part of this community and everything. And so it's always been a special group and just to be a part of. And so the podcast has been a great avenue to discuss Nintendo and passion for it through here as well. And especially the big thing is I liked it being live. And then I know there were a couple times where we experimented with not doing live, and that was kind of fun in its own way. But the live sessions just made it more interactive and more interesting, and just seeing your comments and stuff too. So that was always entertaining. But life happens, I guess, and just have to sort of reprioritize certain things. I'm not disappearing at all. I will be around the internet. I'll be here, and it'd be cool to pop in from time to time as well. And I'll certainly be keeping in touch with everybody on the NintendoFuse team for sure. I'll be around. But yeah, thank you to everybody that's listened. Thank you to you three as well for joining me on these endeavors with the podcast.
Now on the E3 episode featuring Hassan.
Right. No, I mean, definitely be cool to kind of pop back in sometimes and talk Nintendo with you all.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I think I said this many times, but man, it's been a long ride, man. We've been pretty much. I wasn't there from the very, very, very beginning, but very early on at the last podcast, and then the whole way through the NintendoFuse podcast with you, man. And it'd be weird for sure not having you with us every time, but yeah, we'll definitely have you on for guest appearances every once in a while, and at least, and yeah, we'll still stay in touch for sure, but it's gonna be odd not having you around all the time. So, but just thanks for everything you've done. This entire thing. This is your vision. This is all you, and what it has become from this little idea that I know that you kind of tossed around a long time ago, like 8.5, 9 years ago, and the back in the forums to having this idea to now it's fully become out of that, and it's been cool to ride that wave with you. So thanks for all you've done for NintendoFuse and the podcast and everything else.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely share that. I was very happy to be welcomed on here by you, and very encouraged to join the crew. Had lots of great discussions over the 5 years that I've been on, 6 years that I've been on the team. So definitely going to be missed. I know your most excited E3 game is going to be Animal Crossing, Happy Home Designer 2, Amiibo Festival. So,
yes, that sounds great.
I'll be looking forward to your thoughts on that when they announce that one.
No, for sure. Thanks, Greg. Yeah.
Yeah, it's bittersweet for me because the very reason I even found NintendoFuse was because of you, Hassan. I remember I was on Twitter one night and and you had tweeted out like, "Hey, you know, we're going to be having a podcast tomorrow," and I was like, "Oh, that's cool," you know, and that was my very first one appearing, a guest call for E3 episode, I think 92. That's been like 4.5 years or something for me now. And I remember asking like, "Hey, that was fun. Can I join? Can I join?" And you were probably like, "This stupid guy, he's badgering me, whatever, you know, like, yeah, go talk to Mickey. Go talk to me. Leave me alone." And I was like, "Mickey, please, can I join?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure, go ahead." And I'm like, "Yeah, you know." And it's just been an incredible ride. I mean, it's been for me over 50 episodes now, and everyone has been a joy. And it during this period has not been the easiest time of my life, and it still isn't. But you and obviously the rest of the crew, Steve and Greg, have certainly made it easier every day and something to look forward to. And without you here, it will be a hole. I mean, it will be a hole that won't be filled, but it will be one that we will certainly skate around, and you're welcome to fill it any and every time you choose to. And if you disappear, I will hunt you. You know, I will go down to Washington D.C. I will hunt you. But no, thank you in all seriousness for everything you contributed, and you know, and I really hope that life takes you back here, and you can rejoin us whenever you want.
I appreciate that. Thanks, Bear.
A standing, you know, guest spot every month, actually.
Yeah. How about that?
Interesting. Okay. No. No, thank you all, definitely. And you know, I do want to reiterate, like, this is not the end of the podcast. So the podcast will go on, and I'm excited to see where it goes from here. Even in just the last few years, I mean, just the format of NintendoFuse, just in general, just kind of transforming and coming up with some interesting ideas. And I like where things are headed with kind of these different sort of shows that we have, like the game chats and industry talks and the podcast and so on. Like, I think it's cool to see that expansion and to see where things go from here. So definitely, you know, to everybody listening, like, just because I'm leaving, like, I mean, there's so much other cool stuff that's happening. So I'm already subscribed. I would hope so, but I will continue to listen in and see what's going on with the podcast, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes from here. So, you know, make sure you keep an eye on NintendoFuse.com for all the latest on the podcast and everything else that goes on with the site, for sure. Definitely. And then with that being said, yeah, thank you again to everybody in the chat, to everybody that's there, Blake, Jakester, DJ, Mike, thank you all, and everybody else that has listened over the years. And with that, you know, the podcast will be back again soon with the rest of the crew. So we will
first Monday of next month.
Yep, we'll be here, and we'll tie up Hassan. He's coming back.
Yep. We see here.
He should be back on.
For all of you that are watching right now, and you can look at Hassan's face because he doesn't realize this, but we've actually super glued his pants to his seat, so he is going to be there next time. Don't worry about it.
Still, yeah. And I'm never stopping the broadcast, so. It's just going to be 24/7.
Hey, I mean,
NintendoFuse is just going to turn into all Hassan all the time.
So. Definitely no, but thank you all for listening. As always, take care, and see you later. Bye, everyone.
See ya.
Bye, guys.
Stay fresh.
See ya.